Welcome back to Children's Church at Home on the Jacob and Josh Network.
That's right, guys. Today we have a lot of fun stuff planned for you guys, including wrapping up our series on kindness.
Yes, that does not mean you can stop being kind to people, though.
You mean I have to be nice to my sisters?
You do. And Jeff, you better hear that.
Means you too. Anyway, now onto a story about a donkey with the Sullivans and friends.
Hi kids, I've got a really amazing story to tell you. I've been the donkey of Balaam the prophet for many years, so many that I've lost count. I'm proud to carry such an important person on my back. One day, some messengers arrived from the land of Moab. I could tell they were very important people. They represented the king. Everyone had been talking about these Israelites who had escaped from the Egyptians. Now the Israelites were coming our way and fighting with people in our area. The Moabites were panicking, afraid the Israelites would attack them. That's why they came to ask my master for help. They brought lots of money and this message.
King Balak says, "There are too many Israelites for me. Come and curse them. Then maybe I can defeat them. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed."
My master invited the messengers to spend the night. He needed some time to think about the request and ask God about it.
You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed.
Go home, for God has refused to let me go with you.
So the messengers went back to Moab. Kings aren't used to being told no, so Balak wasn't too happy when he heard that Balaam couldn't come. Honestly, I'm surprised Balaam said no to all that money and honor. It wasn't long before more messengers from King Balak, even more honorable than the first ones, arrived at our house.
King Balak says, "Don't let anything keep you from coming, for I will honor you if you curse the Israelites for me. I will do whatever you say."
Balak was getting pretty desperate, and he was willing to pay Balaam as much money as he asked for.
Even if Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I couldn't do anything except what God tells me to do. Please stay here tonight, and I will talk to God.
Okay, God had already told Balaam no the first time the messengers came. Obviously, Balaam wasn't willing to accept that answer. God came to Balaam that night.
If the men have come to call you, go with them, but only do what I tell you.
So Balaam got up in the morning and saddled me. Balaam, 2 servants, and I went with the princess of Moab. But God was angry because Balaam went. I personally think this is because Balaam was still secretly hoping to curse the Israelites and get the money for it. As we were walking to Moab, or rather, I was walking and Balaam was riding, suddenly an angel of the Lord appeared in the road, blocking our way. The angel had a drawn sword in his hand, ready to attack us. So of course, I ran off the road into a field to save Balaam's life. Guess how Balaam thanked me for saving him? He hit me. Turns out only I saw the angel. Balaam is supposed to be this great prophet who sees things that no one else can, but I, a humble donkey, might be wiser than he is. So we kept going, but the angel appeared again in a narrow path between 2 vineyards. Because there was a wall on either side, I could barely squeeze through, so I accidentally pushed Balaam's foot against the wall. Again, Balaam couldn't see the angel, and he hit me again. I wish I could tell him that I was only trying to protect him. As we went on our way, the angel appeared a 3rd time. This time, there was nowhere for me to go. The path was too narrow, so I lay down. Well, That made him really angry, so he hit me with his staff. Then God allowed me to speak. What have I done to you that you have hit me these 3 times?
I hit you because you have made a fool of me. I wish I had a sword in my hand, for then I would kill you.
Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden all your life long to this day? Is it my habit to treat you this way?
Well, no.
Then God opened Balaam's eyes, and he finally saw the angel standing in the way.
Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come to oppose you because your way is a reckless one before me.
Even though God had allowed Balaam to go with the messengers, he knew Balaam's heart wasn't right.
The donkey saw me and turned aside these 3 times. If she had not avoided me, surely I would have killed you and let her live.
Whew! I love how the angel stood up for me.
I have sinned, for I did not know that you stood in the road against me. Now, therefore, if it is evil in your sight, I will turn back.
Wow! Was Balaam really that slow to catch on? It was obvious to me that God didn't want Balaam to go to Moab. Maybe when you have your mind set on something, it's hard to see the obvious.
Go with the men, but speak only the word that I tell you.
So we went on with the princes of Balak. King Balak came out to meet us at the city of Moab.
Did I not ask you to come? Why did you not come to me? Am I not able to honor you?
Look, I have come to you, but I can only say what God tells me to say.
Then we went with King Balak. The next morning, King Balak took us to a high place where we could see some of the Israelites camped below. There were so many Israelites that we couldn't see them all at one time. Balaam told Balak to build 7 altars, and they sacrificed a bull and a ram on each altar. Thank goodness they don't sacrifice donkeys. Balaam went off by himself to talk with God. When he came back to Balak, all the princes of Moab were with him by the altar. Balaam then spoke a blessing, not a curse, over the Israelites. I won't repeat what he said because it was kind of long, and I don't remember it word for word. I might have been munching on some sweet, juicy grass. But anyway, you can look it up in Numbers 23.
What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and you have done nothing but bless them.
Don't I have to say what God puts in my mouth?
So Balak took us to another place from which we could again see some more of Israelites. He told Balaam to curse them from there. Again, they sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams on 7 altars. Balaam went away to talk with God. Again, when Balaam came back, all the princes of Moab were standing with Balak. Again, Balaam blessed the Israelites with a long blessing. Look it up. It was pretty good. Part of it says that God is not a man that he should lie or change his mind. I think Balak had thought that God might change his mind if we were standing in a different place. Then King Balak was really angry.
Do not curse them at all, and do not bless them at all.
I told you, I have to do what God says.
And Balak took us to a third place.
Perhaps God will let you curse the Israelites from here.
Again, they built 7 altars and sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams. But by now, Balaam knew that God wasn't going to let him curse the Israelites, so he didn't go away to meet with God. Balaam looked at the Israelite camp. Then the Spirit of God came upon him, and he spoke a third blessing on the Israelites, ending with,
Blessed are those who bless you, and cursed are those who curse you.
Then King Balak was really, really angry. He struck his hands together.
I called you to curse my enemies, and you have blessed them these 3 times. Now flee to your own place. I said, I will certainly honor you, but God has held you back from honor.
Then I was afraid that King Balak was going to hurt us. I was nudging Balaam to get out of there, but he just had to speak again.
I told your messengers that even if you were to give me your house full of silver and gold, I couldn't say anything unless God allowed me to. I'm going home.
But before he left, he spoke one last message from God, telling Balak how the Israelites would destroy Israel's enemies. Then we went home, while Balak went back to his palace, I assume. Needless to say, Balaam didn't get paid. The life of a prophet can be kind of hard to guess, especially when people don't like what you have to say. I hear that you've been talking about the fruit of the Spirit in Children's Church, and that you're focusing on kindness this month. Kindness is showing others that you value them through thoughtful actions and words. Now, I don't want to sound braggy, but as I think back over the story I just told you, I can only think of one character who showed kindness. Me! I protected Balaam even when he was mean to me. What do you think? Oh, I gotta go. I hear my master coming. Thanks for listening to my side of the story. Oh, and if you're ever in the area, Balaam is now offering donkey rides for kids. He's got to make money somehow.
Thank you, Sullivans, for that amazing display of fine craftsmanship.
Yeah, it was a great story, but Josh, don't you think some of the acting was a little wooden?
Actually, I think quite the opposite. I think their beautifully painted faces showed quite a lot of emotion.
Seemed to me as if a little bit of their emotion was kind of stiff. Wouldn't you say?
Anyways, here on JJN, we don't just tell the news, we make you tell the news. So take a minute to pause the video and talk about what you just learned.
And now it's time
For the Fine Art Report. This week for our fine art, we just want to highlight the amazing craftsmanship that went into the video that you just saw.
Yeah, Maeve and her family spent a lot of time crafting these elaborate, beautiful peg dolls, and as you can see, she made us 2 of them as well.
I think the suits are very well tailored, perfectly to fit our peggish bodies, and I think that is just truly magnificent.
That's right. Excellent, excellent work, Maeve.
This has been
The Fine Art Report.
And now, to the Hatch family for your last chance to memorize this month's memory verse.
Take it away.
Hi, Hawkinson Community Church. We're gonna do the memory verse. We're gonna do it 5 times. Okay? Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. Now we're gonna do it the second time. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. Now we're gonna sing it a third time. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. Now we're gonna do it the 5th time. Be kind and compassionate
which you should sing along.
to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. Ephesians 4:32. I'm pretty hungry after all that singing of the memory verse.
All you can have.
Thank you, that's very kind. Bye, Hawkinson Community Church.
Thank you, Hatch family, for that great memory verse.
You know, Josh, I did notice I didn't see Zeke.
You didn't? Well, I saw him, but it was pretty hard to spot him.
You know, I did see him. Gotta hand it to him. He's a pretty good actor.
You know, skills like his would probably cost an arm and another arm.
That's right, Josh. Thanks for joining us this week on Children's Church at Home on the Jacob and Josh Network.
Make sure to check out the website and send in your artwork.
That's right, guys.
It's time to end.
You know, hang on. Before we end, another step on kindness. Josh, I really like your haircut.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, when you kind of plug your ears and then it actually makes it recede into your head. I actually just lost a fraction of an inch there. So I didn't actually get a haircut. So, but.
Well, either way, looks amazing.
That did not fit.